Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here today. I'm glad to participate at the Experience Agile conference, and I want to thank you, the team involved in this uh, challenging adventure, that they managed very, very well. Who I am? I'm Deborah Ghisolfi. I live in Italy, and I'm an Agile marketing trainer. To be honest, I started as a software developer many years ago. But fortunately, my colleagues say that I was too creative as a developer. So I'm here to talk about marketing. I'm joking, obviously, but I want to share with you that working with data, analytics, insights helps me a lot to understand how growth hacking marketing works and in which way we can create powerful relationship with our customer. During the last 5 years, I also experiment the critical shift paradigm for marketing, and I start talking about why agile matters for a marketing team. So, are you ready for the workshop? So go. Well, have you ever experienced something like this or this? And have you ever seen, for example, your boss or a chairman talking with you about the annual vision and mission and marketing advertising using an Excel file with a lot of annual budget and pre-filled marketing campaign or partnership? And what happened at the end of the year? Uh, what goal did you achieve? Or sometimes happened that you went in another room with a lot of Excel file with profit and loss and people around the table with a low morale. If the answer is yes, well, I'm not surprised. But after this workshop, I hope you'll have a different tools to better describe the marketing strategy, of course, and the outcomes for your team and for your company. The daily routine for the team can change, and the team member can create a very powerful canvas to embody your customer in order to understand their needs and grow with them. I'm pretty sure that the team morale will be better. But before starting to talk about agile mindset in a marketing team and the power of visualization, I want to share with you something about the new critical aspect of marketing in a VUCA context. Marketing is not a software development or an engineering activity where, according to the input, you can work really hard, but you can see at the end a specific output. Marketing works via hypothesis. Working via hypothesis means that you can use frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, SAFe, DSDM, and so on to organize your daily routine. But first of all, you have to do something very, very effective and useful in order to create a powerful conversation with your customer and potential customer. And your goal are understanding their needs, find a solution that fits for them, and build loyalty. How? Well, the power of marketing is building a marketing campaign that matters. Put the campaign on the market, listen to your customer feedback, and review your message and storytelling and start again. But sometimes happen that you need to pivoting as we did, especially this year. And it's time to follow the challenge for marketing team. And remember that one of the best tools to ride and anticipate the market is to visualize the path you are following. Well, I'm a big believer in the power of creating a visual action board. Doing so can help prime your brain to grasp opportunity that helps you to create marketing strategy that matters. Visualization allows you to harness the power of selective attention to work in your favor, and let me explain how. Every day, our brains are bombarded with far too much information. As a result, our brain needs to discard some things into the background so we can focus on what's necessary to us at that time. Selective attention is a cognitive process that involves the thalamus in our brain's limbic system, and the thalamus attend to a small number of sensory inputs and filter out what it considers unnecessary or a distraction. Now, I want to share with you a very powerful video in order to understand how our brains select the information we process. And it's based on an experiment that the psychologists Levin and Simon did in 1998. Well, who noticed that the stars change the colors? Uh, Probably the 50% of the people that is watching this video and attend the workshop. But why? Because we were so focused on the goal about the question that in the video the experiment asked to visualize. And now let me explain the link between vision board, visual board, and selective attention. Now think about this example and how selective attention might manifest in your day-to-day life, in your daily working routine. What might you be missing when you focus on someone else? For visualization to be effective and powerful, you need to be more specific and selective with the images that you want to focus on. An action board, a visual board, a canvas can remind you your deepest wishes and priority on your daily routine. And as a result, you are more focused to recognize opportunity and inspiration that present itself. Once you begin to use visual board to inform your visualization, you can imagine your marketing success, you can imagine your customer experience. And sometimes it happens. And doing this allows you to tap into another powerful brain training mechanism, Simply imagine something using visualization. You can deliver your physical and mental benefit of the action that you desire. You can apply this principle in your day-to-day working life and with your marketing team. Make sure that you focus on these images every day. Imagine your customer experience. Use your customer and create something with your team in order to help you to imagine the marketing campaign reality and carry out the effort to take it to get there. Why? Why it's very, very powerful using visualization? Because a customer is a person like you and me. And this is a very good reason why many successful marketing teams continue to use this technique to help them to realize the business goal and in order to create the right priority to achieve their outcomes. When you imagine, for example, your customer behavior, your customer experience before creating a marketing campaign, you'll be more focused to opportunities that can help you to get there. You'll be able to anticipate and plan for setback. And you also have a constant reminder of why you choose to pursue this goal in the first place. Well, now it's time to deep dive into a specific canvas, the customer discovery canvas, that you can use to create your customer discovery process. The canvas that I want to share with you now, you can use it at the early stage of conversation with your prospect and customer in order to explore and record the relevant discovery topic. The customer discovery canvas or customer discovery map is made up of four big blocks. The pre-call research that you can see here, and the second step is the buyer persona, description of the buyer personas, another very powerful tool. And then we have small maps in order to describe the customer conversation that you can see here. And then we have the next step, the wrap-up session that you can use in order to put your attention what you want to do in order to achieve your goal. As a pro tip, I want to say to you that you can delete or add areas that are or not are interested to you for your customer interaction. And once you create your canvas from the template, you can make it on your own. When I work in person with the people, I prefer to use a magnetic canvas that I create writing with my hands, and I also use a magnetic note. I create a very powerful canvases using Ligamaster blank board, magnetic notes and board. And when I work like in this year remotely, I use a lot of tools like Mural, like Miro. You can use Jamboard and so on. So the first section in order to start to work with the customer discovery canvas is the pre-call research. Use this section to capture notes from your own pre-customer call discovery or information that you want to share with your stakeholder if it's possible. The upper section is for company and industry trends. as you can see here, right? Um, the upper section is for your company and industry trends, company news, and other interesting things that you want to learn or that you have learned according with your salesperson, for example, about your customer and their business. The lower section is for the key stakeholder. Hmm? uh, the stakeholder for the customer and your internal stakeholder or your customer stakeholder that you can find on LinkedIn, for example, or talking with your customer care, your salesperson, and so on. And if it's okay for your customer, you can create something like this with the picture of the people, the LinkedIn profile, and so on. The third step of this, so this is the second step, and the first step is who we are. As you know, the more interactive and engaging we are, and in this way we can make our call experiences engaging and better for us and for our customer. So the better customer experience and the greater likelihood of a sale. If you invite, for example, your customer to join this visual board, this digital visual board with you, consider, for example, to use this space as an introduction exercise or an ice break activity in order to allow them to practice with visual tools. This section, the section number 3, is really important because you start to create a relationship with your customer when you interview, for example, when you start to interview your customer. For example, here in the who we are, you can see all the people of the team, the people involved in the conversation, but also, for example, the values and a principle in which you believe: transparency, courage, respect, and integrity. This can help you to organize a very powerful interview with your customer, because the customer, I want to remember you that a customer is or a lead or a prospect is a person just like you and me, and your customer want to understand if you are going to take care of them. Next step, start talking about who is your customer. Buyer personas, as you can see here, here you can see a powerful example of Mrs. Big Stuff, a woman very, how can I say, very with high expectation, with that want to be part of some local association in business, and she is highly educated, wearing a city lifestyle, and so on. When you create a conversation with your customer, it's really important to start to organize the behaviors, the demographic, the sociographic details, and needs and pain point. The canvas here is made up of course, buyer personas with a name and an image that represent this kind of personas. And here you can start talking about behaviors, demographic, pain, and gain. Well, personas are, in my experience, are vital to the success of the product, because they drive design decision by taking common user needs and bringing them to the forefront of planning before design has actually started. Personas can provide you a shared understanding of users in terms of goals and capabilities. Now it's time to record your customer conversation. Well, as a pro tip, I want to share with you that not only marketers can use this kind of canvas. It's a very, very powerful canvas also for the salesperson or the customer care person, because they can organize, for example, the survey, and they can collect feedback that you can use in order to create a marketing campaign that matters. But come back to our customer discovery conversation section of the canvas. First of all, the agenda. So you can pre-populate post-it using post-it or sticky notes prior to the call for each agenda topic and place them in the order of your envisioning call. For example, in this area, we create this canvas during a specific activity in a workshop, and we talk about beauty. We talk about beauty product, high level quality beauty product for fashion and luxury, and we discover that our customer want to explain and want to talk with Mrs. Big Stuff, as we see in the buyer personas canvas part. They want to talk with her about quality, about safety, about higher standard, about investing for nature, and other things that they were very, very focused on. And you can use this part of the canvas in order to explore and capture the specific needs of your customer. As a pro tip, I want to share with you that you can create, for example, the needs category by opting for different size of post-it or different color of post-it in order to deep dive into your discovery mapping by adding more and more post-its under that heading. It's a sort of clusterization of the business need. When the agenda is complete and you discuss with your customer what kind of needs they have, it's time to think about business priority. And these tools, in my opinion, the bullseye canvas is very, very powerful, because you can drag the needs post-it or the needs heading from below and ask to the customer to prioritize there by placing them on the bullseye diagram. Explain that the center circle is for activity or topic with high priority that they want to develop as the first things. After that, you can talk about the important needs, and lastly, lower priority needs in the outer circle. Be sure to explore and understand the reason why they prioritize the activity in this way. Because remember that this interview is to understand what kind of relationship they want to manage with you, but also what kind of communication they need in order to understand the benefits of your product or the benefits of your service. So the bullseye and the business priority is really, really effective. Well, before start to make decision, it's really, really important to think about critical events. And we know very well what happened during the COVID-19. So in this part of the canvas, relating to their higher priority needs and capture the critical events, like, for example, the business needs, or our formula is too expensive, where, as you can see here, and help them to put the how can I say, to put the critical event in order. And as a pro tip, I want to share with you that think about critical events can help you to find a new solution or to be prepared to serve the market if something goes wrong. When you talk about critical events, as we did in the in the previous part of the canvas, sometimes happen that people, how can I say, the state of mind is, okay, we have a problem, we need to solve it, and so on. But what you can do in order to engage better your customer is to turn problems into aspirations. And many techniques in lean startup focus on identifying customer problems. The bias with problem is that you put us and the customer in a where may be in trouble, and the state of mind is focusing on our brain in order to handling the present. But when you focus on current state and aspiration, you can help, you can inquiry your customer in order to ask problem, focus on question that help them to focus on solution, on behavior. For example, if you say something like, what do you need to do? What is more important for you? Or when we say something like, what did you do like this? What would you dream to do differently? And or what stopped today to do it differently? If we start talking about aspiration and not problem to solve, we can also create a great story to character the quest. In our product story, if we work, for example, in Scrum or in Kanban, customer aspiration is really, really powerful because every story can exit with the reason why they are intention. And if we know and if we are when we are able to understand why our customer is intention or is concerned and what kind of activity he want to do using our product or our service, we can we can help our team and our company to create a great business model. Do you remember that in the previous part of the canvas we talk about stakeholder? Well, now it's time to think about the how to map the stakeholder and how to map the decision makers and how to map the decision making process. So you may choose to drag and drop the LinkedIn profile that you create in the pre-call section, or you can add other people when you understand that, for example, during your conversation, you understand that there are other people that can help you in order to organize this decision-making process. And be sure to understand each stakeholder role and interest in the decision-making process. For example, as a pro tip, I want to share with you something like visual. So you can create a color key, for example, to designate people who will make the decision, people who should be consulted or informed, or people who would influence the decision, and so on. As you can see in this example, for example, the CEO is in red and the Chief Marketing Officer, the CMO, is in blue. This means that in this part of the canvas, your goal is to map the stakeholder and to map the decision process of your customer. Well, now we are going to describe the solution requirement portion of the canvas. Once you are able to describe or demonstrate your solutions option, use this section to ask for a candid feedback from the customer. What did they like about the option you shared? What questions or concern they have about your product or your services? And you can now prioritize both what they like as well as question or concern, and use this as a bridge to the next step, the wrap-up area. The wrap-up area, it's a sort of small canvas to capture and organize the next step. As you can see in this part of, no, this, oh, okay. As you can see in this part, in the last part of the canvas, here you can create your immediate next step, your next call, or you can likewise begin to map your mutual action plan and so on. Something that that you can manage in a backlog of your activity. And it's a very powerful canvas because, as you can see here, you are going to map the entire interview with your customer. And now we can review the macro step of this canvas. Well, first of all, the pre-call research, where you can organize the interview, you can understand the industry, the trends, and so on. Map your stakeholder and map who you are in terms of what kind of team you want to manage and what kind of customer you want to involve and engage in this kind of activity. Think about the buyer persona, so ask to your customer, how can I say, demographics, psychological thinking, talk about pain, gain, and so on, about business and about the persona itself. Because remember that a customer is a persona, just like you and me. So after that, think about the agenda, pre-fill the agenda portion of the canvas with the topic that you think are the best topic that you want to manage and understand with your customer, but feel free to add all the things that your customer want to manage with you in order to understand if your product or service is the best product or service that they can use in their business. After that, you can map the business priority using the bullseye diagram. Ask to your customer who is the decision makers or what kind of internal process they have in order to understand how to manage or how to create a decision-making process very, very easy for you. After that, you can create and you can manage the feedback about the solution that you propose or that your product can manage according with the business needs. And the solution requirement is another very, very powerful portion of the canvas, because here you have a sincere feedback about the potential of your product and solution. And after that, you are ready in the last step for I like to say a sort of mini backlog of your marketing activity. In my opinion, if you I discovered that during my experience that when you use this kind of canvas very well, and when you are familiar with your canvas, in the next step you have a portion of your new business model. But why it matters create and invest a lot of time in order to create a customer discovery map, or a lot of customer discovery map, depending on the different buyer personas that you manage? Well, first of all, because we need to focus on our customer using analysis and segmentation. We talk a lot about customer focus, but working with customer is the best way you have in order to understand if your marketing hypothesis is correct. And you can choose also tools for adaptive customer-centric marketing. And another things that we can do is when we focus on maps like like this, or interview organized in the way that we manage in this workshop, well, shifting from output to outcomes and impact is a very effective, because in the last part of the canvas, of course, we have our to-do list, all the things that we want to do in order to achieve our outcomes, our goal. And when you manage your daily routine, your first you have to keep in mind that every activity has to generate outcomes for your customer, like problem solve, new possibility, behavioral change, and so on. And when you achieve your goal, when you achieve your solution, probably you can generate as a marketing team a new impact in your organization. For example, the bottom line, next result for the organization, impact about the daily routine of the team, the new culture and the new mindset in your organization. And I want to be honest with you. When I started working marketing, I love this kind of activity because you can see your customer growing because you help your customer as a marketer, and not only before you sell some product. And this is the reason why in Agile we usually say that we create a marketing to serve, not a marketing to sell. And last but not least, we can talk about benefits of this kind of visualization and this kind of canvas. Yes, there are a lot of benefits for marketers. And as you remember that I say after the workshop, I hope that you have another tool in order to manage better the team morale and in order to create a marketing campaign that matters. So benefits are for marketers, of course, but also for the teams, for the company, and for the customer, because you can get more things done. What does it mean? But I thought a lot of teams with agile marketing, and as a whole, they tell me that they get about more or less 30% to more done with the agile marketing, and they are getting more done, and they are getting more done because they are not doing rework, for example, and they're working on the right priority. Second step, getting the right things done. Because you're working with sales, you're working with senior management to set the priorities. You're making sure that using agile marketing, and in particular this kind of canvas, you're getting the right things done. And that's important because you focus on priority. Third things, adapted to change. Part of your life today in marketing is that things change. We know, for example, that Google is going to change the page range algorithm in few every month, for example, and we don't know exactly how, but we know that it's going to happen, and we need to be able to adapt to that change quickly and accurately. And we put process in place in agile marketing to make sure that these things happen. Adapting to change means that when you interview your customer, like we did in this kind of canvas, we understand that something can change. And if a business needs change, requirement, an impact of our activity change, we have a decision-making process, for example, in order to review our business priority and the agenda we discuss. Last but not least, improved communication. Improve communication both within the marketing team and probably even more important outside the marketing team, to sales and senior management. By representing what we are getting done, and something like come on board. Everybody can see exactly what marketing is working on and where is it and where they're going to get done. So last, what I want to, the last tip that I want to share with you is that, in my opinion, what I share with you in this workshop is agile marketing in a nutshell. I'd love to hear your comment, and thank you for watching. You can't afford to wait. Download the canvas and try. Bye.